So, the bad news is Mariners are out of the playoffs. The good news is the Mariners just won their final game, which also sabotaged the Texas Rangers. Because the Mariners won, that means the Rangers are no longer the division champions. That means the Astros are the division champions. So, I guess the Mariners did something cool, I guess. But before I get into this quick video, hit that subscribe button. I mean, there's not really much to say. Like, I didn't watch the game because hashtag don't quit your day job situation. George Kirby pitched fantastic. From what I heard, he pitched a knuckleball. Then Prelander Baroa got a chance, which I was really excited about. So hopefully he will work on his game, develop some pitches, and go into next year. He is raw at the very moment, but I think he should get a chance for next year because our bullpen depth it was bleeding at the end of the year. Like, ever since that Paul Sewald trade, the bullpen was having a huge mess of problems. Like, I don't care if the ERA was like top 3 or top 5 or whatever. The bottom line is they couldn't get it done when it mattered most. And also, the record in the extra innings wasn't also good either. So, there's not really much to say about this game. It's really about, we already know what's going on. Like, Cal Raleigh he has already called out the ownership, asking for like more activity in the offseason, which is absolutely needed. It's absolutely more than essential that the Mariners actually do something and get something done for the offseason. Things that need to be done. Offense needs to be fixed because we don't have clutch batters. What are you going to do with Teoscar Hernandez? What are you going to do with the bullpen? Do we need more starting depth? Because I don't know if Bryce Miller and Brian Wu are necessarily going to be the future. They have good talent. I'd see them more as bullpen roles in the future, But I think, honestly, the Mariners have to go out and get some players. Like, I think next season should be the make or break. Like, hell, go for Shohei Ohtani. Go for the big guys. I mean, the only player I'm really interested in getting in the free agency is Shohei Ohtani. But I expect, and I would hope, that the Mariners at least spend some kind of money to build the depth on this team. Like, Ty France's job should not be safe. Second base should be up for grabs between Josh Rojas, Jose Caballero, which I don't think Caballero is the answer for this team. I think Ryan Bliss might be a challenger, but he's a young guy. He could be raw. So I think the Mariners should get some veteran presence in the second base and not just trade for guys like Colton Wong or settle for Tommy La Stella, but let's get some actual players that can actually help this team. Eugenio Suarez, his home run, his power regressed. Good defense, but in some ways, he did regress, unfortunately. The catcher, what do we do with Tom Murphy? Do we keep him? Do we let him go? Or do we extend him? Which I think we should extend him because he did provide depth in the catcher's role. Although his defense wasn't great, but his offense more than made up for it. And then what are you going to do in outfield? Jared Kelenic is a question mark. Julio is Julio. Well, yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. What do you do for the right field? That's going to leave rooms for like Cade Marlowe, Dominic Canzone. The only other outfielder I'm excited about is Lazaro Montez, but he's a young man. He's very raw in talent. So, in the meantime, Mariners have got to spend money. Like, their biggest priority should be another outfielder. And then after that, second baseman and even first base should be a heavily competed position. Mariners should get anyone in first base that could be formidable. What are you going to do with your catcher? Maybe get another starter because Marco's coming back from injury next season. Robbie Ray's coming back, so there's holes in that. So you got to get some starters because I don't want to depend on just Bryce Miller and Brian Wu as like the low-end starters, although they did do pretty well, but you just don't want to depend on them that much. Need starters depth in case of like injuries like that happen, in which the Mariners were extremely unprepared because of those kind of injuries. I remember I was saying it throughout the offseason, like Mariners got to add depth. They got to add depth, but they didn't do it because owner John Stanton, he's a cheapo. And Cal Raleigh rightfully called him out. Now, the wrong thing that Cal Raleigh did was apologize. He literally had nothing to apologize. I think it was John Stanton just wanted to, he forced him to apologize. Otherwise, he would trade him away. And something tells me that I still think that's going to happen. It seems to be some disconnect between them. But I don't know. Like, there's a lot to pack in. My mind is full right now on the Mariners. Although I am somewhat relieved that I don't have to have another heart attack feelings of the Mariners. But a lot of things to go over. Off-season moves. What are they going to do? Maybe look at coaching options. What are you going to do with that? Front office moves. Like, I don't think Justin Hollander is the guy for general manager. I don't think he's the guy. But there's a lot to pack in. Despite the Mariners season being over, there's still plenty of stuff to follow. And I do look forward to following that offseason. But those are my quick thoughts on the Mariners. It was good to see them win. It was nice to get a little bit of revenge on Texas Rangers for spoiling our run to the playoffs. Although, had the Mariners won today, maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But who knows? And of course, I can't even check the... So let me check the Blue Jays score just to see if they even won this game. Good thing my watch is coming in handy. It's a good thing. But yeah, I'm going to see how the Blue Jays did. And also, while you're waiting for me to get that score, so Tampa won, or they're winning. So maybe the Mariners would have made the playoffs had they just won yesterday and took care of business. Had they just won any of those one games, I'll list some games. They should have won that game in Chicago. They should have won a game in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. They should have won a game against Houston. They should have won a lot of these one games. And again, I don't want to hear a Mariner fan going, "Oh, it's just one game in April and May." Now, if it was a blowout game, sure, whatever, it's not your game. But if it's like a game where you had a lead, you gotta hold that lead. Like I said, for that kind of game, I don't want to hear it's just one game ever again. But those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Mariners. I know I've rolled out a lot of videos because a lot of things happen. But thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much for following my channel. And I will still do Mariners content. Going to do Seahawks content as well. So I look forward to that. And also, keep subscribing to this channel. Please keep following. And thanks for watching.